I have returned with a tier list stream, as foretold by the ancients in the previous stream we did, I think. I don't remember when I said I was coming back with a tier list stream, but here we are. My hiatus is over. I almost did not return because my work has been really bad this past week, but here we are. A couple of things before we begin. The tier list streams do pretty well on YouTube. So I just want to say, if you're watching this on YouTube, give me a subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. If I can get to 500 subscribers, I can monetize that channel. Your incentive for doing so is I have a costume of the VTuber model. I'm going to post a picture of myself wearing it once we get to 500 subscribers, and a Pepsi. Yes. I will have a Pepsi with me for some reason. All right. The other thing is, Best of 2024 video is out. So if you haven't checked that out, check it out. It's a little long, but it has a lot of great moments in it. So check that out if you haven't done so already. In other news, my incision on my face has finally healed up. Mostly, it's closed up at the very least, and I have finally finished the script for Cartoon Clip Show, and it is finalized. So, when I will be able to film it, I don't know, but it is ready and waiting to go. I just have to still decide if I'm going to do that sketch at the end of it. I don't know yet. We'll have to see how I feel. It might require energy I no longer have in my life. But I did write in an alternate, just normal ending, just in case. But yeah, for those of you waiting, it's coming. Just be patient. Anyway, we're going to do tier lists, because people wanted it. I have a couple lined up. A couple were suggested to me, and a couple I found on my own. We are starting, however, with a wrong that we must right. So, I have done tier lists of animated shows from the 90s through the 2010s. Somehow, some way, I have not done an 80s cartoons tier list. I'm not sure why or how. I must have. I think that a lot of this got I think a lot of these got like mixed in with other tier lists, and that's why I thought that I have. By the way, the ads on the tier list site are worse now. Look, even though I have it cut off, they're like creeping in. I actually saw one the other night that actually was like right here, so I don't know how to fix it. I have an ad block on, and I'm getting like Temu and eBay ads. But I don't know. My ad block just does not work on this side. Oh, you know what? I didn't start the music. Shit. Stardew Valley music for non-copyright stuff. Anyway. Yeah, I haven't done an 80s cartoons tier list somehow. And it's pretty long, but honestly, I'm probably not going to spend a whole lot of time on some of these. I mean, like, what do you want me to say about Ninja Turtles that I haven't said 100 times? What do you want me to say about He-Man that I haven't said 100 times? Or Thundercats that I haven't said 100 times, you know? But there are quite a few on here. So I guess we'll try to get through this. I was actually... After this, I don't know what to do anymore. I would love to maybe go back, do like older decades animated shows, but I couldn't find any. So, I don't know, like 60s, 70s, because I am mostly familiar with those too, so, but I don't know, there's just not a lot. Let's do when you haven't done a review on a lot of these. A whole lot of these. Alright, well, let's begin, shall we, despite the ads creeping in. By the way, the tier list site is just gotten really bad lately. Like, look at this, it's all waifus and Smash and Pass and like Has Been Hotel and Genshin Impact and Genshin Impact and Has Been Hotel, Smash and Pass, and waifus. So, yeah. This is why I don't want to do tier lists anymore. The site sucks. Alright, anyway. DuckTales. Original DuckTales. Honestly, this is S tier as well. As much as the 2017 DuckTales is really good, and it is. I would say, honestly, it's about on the same page as this. It's just different. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. You know, it's funny. Despite coming out in this was like 89, so this came in like right at the end. Which is why I mostly associate it with the 90s. So it's kind of weird seeing that on the list. But anyway, I did like it. It is not as good as DuckTales, but I always watched it as well. Now Tailspin, on the other hand, is that's an S tier for me as well, but that's not on here, I don't think. Is it? What year did Tailspin come out? Alright, well, if we run into it, we run into it. Anyway, She-Ra, Princess of Power. You know what? I'm gonna put She-Ra right next to He-Man, because she belongs there. First Disney cartoon, probably? Yeah, it's a good one. We got Transformers G1. I've said many times that despite me being the 80s cartoon boy, surprisingly, 91, that makes sense. It was probably on the 90s list that I did whenever I did that. Transformers G1 was fun, but it had some major problems. I'm gonna give it a B tier, but it had some problems. Let's be real. Yeah, the animation errors, gratuitous, and like almost as bad as Ninja Turtles, honestly. Then we got G.I. Joe. I was always more of a G.I. Joe fan. G.I. Joe is an A tier for me. Gem and the Holograms. Okay, listen. Gem was not that good, in my opinion. I know it's, Sunbow. It takes place supposedly in the same universe, but it's not really. It's just a silly thing they try to do. Gem. I mean, I like the character, so I'll give it a C tier. Alvin and the Chipmunks. So, I do remember watching it and liking it, but I don't know, like, I never really an Alvin and the Chipmunks guy, you know? I like the songs that they did. They were all cover songs. I'll give it a C tier. Although, they did have an episode where they crossed over with Mr. T. That was great. The Christmas special? Yeah, that was... I think was that the Chuck Jones one? I think Chuck Jones did that one. Based off early memory. Yeah. Boo to the voice. Boo to the fucking chip. You don't like the Chipmunks? This version of Chipmunks is tolerable. Any other version after that is not. Alright, now we got the real Ghost... interesting they put these two next to each other. We got the real Ghostbusters next to Ghostbusters. Real Ghostbusters should be an S tier, but I'm giving it A tier because the later seasons got messed up. Thanks Q5. But the good episodes are really good. Real Ghostbusters feel like the most anime-ish. I can see why you say that. Then we got Filmation's Ghostbusters. Proof that just because you're the first at something doesn't mean you're the best. By the way, I've decided I'm gonna rank these by enjoyment level and not by, like, if it's good. So, now, this show is not good. Very, very not good. But there are bits that are kind of funny, if unintentionally so. And, it is Filmation. They had a specific style about them. They had a lot of good designs. When they actually did animation, it was not bad. I like the transformation sequence. Yeah, I saw a Secret Galaxy video on it. I like the transformation sequence, even though it takes up like a good chunk of the episode. Oh man, hang on, I gotta. Okay, that's better. I will be generous and put it next to Transformers because it is still fun to watch. Dungeons and Dragons again. You know what? I'm gonna put this A tier. This has the same problem that Ghostbusters had. Too much meddling. This should be an S tier. But it is not, because network and no one can have it stored and you know. Alright, oh, this is interesting. Johnny Quest, the 80s Johnny Quest, where they had a rock monster friend. Honestly, I remember watching this quite a bit. Introduction to Jessie. Oh, was she in this? I thought she showed up in the movie. I could, maybe she did. I don't remember. That's the thing. I don't find this as memorable as the original, or even New Adventures of Johnny Quest. So, B tier. Why not? Alright, then we have a bunch of Scooby-Doo. We could probably plow through these real quick. Pup Named Scooby-Doo is the best of these four, easily. I'll put that in... Put it in B tier. The best episode of this is... Okay, so there was a running joke where there's this character called Red Herring, who's this bully, and every time... Red Herring, by the way, is like a term for when you get misled during an investigation or something. Yeah, and obviously Red Herring, and that was Freddy's whole thing. He always thought it was Red Herring. And then there was one episode where they were like, you gotta stop blaming Red Herring for everything. He's like, okay, for the rest of the day, I won't blame Red Herring. So he wanted so badly to accuse Red Herring. And spoilers, the bad guy turned out to be Red Herring. It was the funniest thing ever. That's what makes this B tier. 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo should be better than it is. But it is not. Oh man, I'm more tired than I thought. Yeah, Vincent Price. As Vincent Price. Yeah, we don't talk about that. That was not good. It should have been better than it was, but it's not. Then we got the Scrappy-Doo. We're gonna just go ahead and put those in D tier. Honestly, they're not the worst things ever. But, yeah. I'm slouching. That's why my VTuber's shrinking. Ah! Oh, man. I have had such a rough week at work. Let's make that go away. I've had such a rough week at work that I'm just very... I may actually make this a short stream tonight. The 80s superhero cartoons, yep. Ruby Spears Superman, I don't remember much of. But I think it was okay. Hold on 1 second. I remember being just okay. Michael Bell voice Lex, yeah. You know, sometimes in this case, like, I kind of feel like putting it in Never Seen would be fair. Because I really don't remember a whole lot of it. What do I do with you? You know what? I'll be fair. I'll give it an average score. Then we have Super Friends. By the way, is the music too loud? I might just go ahead and lower it a little bit, just in case. Okay, it's fine. All right, then I'll put it back. All right, that's fine. This is fine. Anyway, Super Friends. I guess I'll put it next to Ruby Spears Superman. Seems fair. Oh, boy. Okay, so now we have Spider-Man and Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Yeah, 80 Spider-Man was fun. Again, I'm kind of... I'm trying to do this based on enjoyability. Oh, man. You guys will have to forgive me for being a little slow tonight. Yeah, we might have to make this a short stream. I'm feeling kind of run down. Maybe I should have held off on streaming. No, not as good as 90s Spider-Man. They killed off Dr. Doom. Wow, I don't remember that. You know what? Yeah. Oh, I give it B tier. He literally blew up. I have to check that out. Then we'll have Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, which as cool as it was, I don't remember it being as good. I remember Phaelus did a comparison video between a very similar episode between these two shows. Monday I wanted to do chill stream. Ugh, guy, you have no idea like how bad work has been lately. Also, I hate to say this, but I've come to the realization that I have started to slow down, and I don't like it. Alright, anyway, Incredible Hulk. It's not, really? That's surprising. Huh. I've only seen one episode of this. And I thought it was pretty good. You know what? I will put it next to Spider-Man. I think that's fair. If I remember correctly, they aired during a block, so that seems about right. First appearance, really? Ah, yes, Robotech. Still holds up pretty well, despite it not being, you know... I mean, we all know the story. It's Macross and two other shows that I can't remember the names of, kind of stitched together into a Frankenstein. But I feel like, especially the first part, you know, the Macross part, it is still a very good show. I'm gonna put that in A tier. Southern Cross and yeah. You know, I don't think I've seen the third part ever. Surprising. I remember the Southern Cross bit with the girl with the afro, as I like to call her. Anyway, Beetlejuice. The Beetlejuice cartoon. I love the Beetlejuice cartoon. This and The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror were my introduction to Edgar Allan Poe. I am now just realizing I am not recording. Oh, fuck. It's fine. I'll just get it off of Twitch. Whatever. Voltron. Tonight is not going well. Still weird they may be... yeah, you just gotta think of it as its own continuity. Its own separate thing. Voltron. Not as good as Robotech, but still memorable and enjoyable. You know what? I will put them next to Transformers. Very, very unusual choices in the localization for Voltron. Like turning the main guy into with a very thick, stereotypical Swedish accent. My name is Sven. I pilot the Black Lion. I don't know if he said that. What does Anime Snob think of Voltron? He prefers Beast King Go Lion. Alright, then we got Thundar the Barbarian. It is hilarious to me that this takes place in a post-apocalyptic future. The year 1994. Basically, Ruby Spears' answer to He-Man. Thundar, yeah, it's fine. It's a fun action series. I like his two pals, too. Yeah. B tier. Yeah. There's a reason for that. Now we got the Smurfs. I remember watching a lot of the Smurfs. I know there's people who are huge Smurfs fans. But, they're okay, I guess. C tier. Look at the Smurfs, annoying little fuckers. But then again, the Snorks were better. As characters. I mean, they were more distinct, and they had better personality than the Smurfs. The Snorks you'll tolerate? Okay. Inspector Gadget. This show is always fun. It did get very repetitive. Even as a kid. Like, how could you be that stupid? Why is the dog solving the crimes? But I did like Inspector Gadget. I'll put that in B tier. Inspector Gadget was inspired by the... Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. I've seen fan art of crossovers. Next we have the Charlie Brown and Snoopy Show. I mean, it's Peanuts. You know what? S tier. Peanuts is great. Peanuts has always been great. Then we have the Care Bears. Boy, we're going through everything here, huh? The movies were better than the show. But the show was fine. It's fine. Then you have My Little Pony. The OG My Little Pony. Deke make it. Yeah. Care Bears didn't introduce No Heart. That someone found him. Some people. I'm sure they did. Anyway, My Little Pony, OG. I don't know. I don't know if I'm the best judge of stuff like this, but, aside from the pilot episode, I don't really remember anything about it. Yeah. The one with Tyrek. Alright, now we got Ewoks and droids. Both of which have their fair share of problems. I've reviewed both of these. Ewoks, unfortunately, if it was just the first season, I would probably give it a high ranking. But I'll put it there. And you know what? I'll put the... Yeah, you know what? They belong together. B tier. Alright, now we got Garfield and Friends. Would have portrayed Palpatine. They did mention him. Kinda. Yeah, I did like Garfield and Friends. I'm gonna put that in A tier. That was a fun, clever show, and it actually was a good adaptation of the comic. Now we have Legend of Zelda and the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Again, I'm posting these based on enjoyment. I do love the Super Show for how bad it is sometimes. And it was, at the time, it was fun, you know, being a fan of the games. Seeing, you know, enemies from the game show up. And Koopa was kind of a great villain. Zelda had more of a story, though. And aesthetically, I liked it better.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Yeah, there it is. Again, based solely on enjoyment, I'm gonna put these in B tier. Oh god, Dragon's Lair, the animated series. Oh. I remember watching it, but I don't remember anything about it. It was kind of dry and not nearly as fun as obviously the game, or at least, you know, the animatics of the game. Yeah. The guest appearances on the Super Show were great. And of course, Captain Lou was awesome. And the episode where Roddy Piper shows up is so funny. Because it's just Roddy Piper. How they even get the rights from... I have no idea. I don't remember the story behind this. There was also a Space Ace cartoon as well. I don't even know if it's on here. We'll find out eventually. Okay, Dragon's Lair is not very memorable. I'm sorry. Probably not the worst thing in the world, but yeah... the Pac-Man cartoon was kind of weird, just by the fact that it existed. I think this is the first video game adaptation. I'm not entirely... I'm pretty sure it is. And then there was Saturday Supercade, which was all like the Atari games and Donkey Kong. Which was its own weird thing. D tier. I don't know, you can't really make a good show out of Pac-Man. They've tried it, I think, twice now. The Christmas special. Is Pac... Yeah, I mean, they tried. I'll give them credit for trying. Alright, so now we have Alf. The animated series. Here's an interesting tidbit for me. I actually didn't watch a lot of the cartoon. I surprisingly watched more of the show. And yet no Tanner family, nope. So I don't really... I've seen little bits and pieces of the show. I guess it was kind of cool seeing him on his home planet. I mean, okay, B. I'll give it B. Because it is Alf and he is just a fun character. Then we have RoboCop, the animated series. Which, yeah, I mean, we got some other stuff coming up here too in a minute. But, yeah, the RoboCop show, honestly, I didn't dislike that much. Compared to the movie, obviously, it's not very good. But, and admittedly, they do miss some of the points from the movie, but if you look at it as its own continuity, it's fine. It's fine. Very short-lived. There was supposed to be more of it, but then they allocated funds for the next episode to make Pride of the X-Men. The X-Men pilot. To think, that could have been the X-Men we got. And it was voiced by the English dub actress for Sailor. Oh, really? Interesting. Okay, so now we have Banana Man, which is a British show, I believe, but they aired it. I think they aired it like in between shows on Nickelodeon back in the day. The premise is he's a kid who eats a banana and becomes Superman. That's the whole thing. Every time he eats a banana, he becomes Banana Man, or that's how it goes in the show. Other than that, I don't really remember much about it. It seems very repetitive. Eh. And now we have, The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. It's Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, everyone loves Winnie the Pooh. You know what? I'm gonna put him in A tier just because he's Winnie the Pooh. And he gets to hang out with Garfield, who he was in Cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue. Along with Slimer. And Michelangelo. Now we got GoBots. Oh boy. Yeah, GoBots ain't very good, is it? The dollar store Transformers. GoBots are the Kmart Transformers, as the line from Clerks was. Nope, yeah, Alluro knows all about the GoBots. They're gonna, you know what? They're going in F tier. They're the first one that goes in F tier. You could have been cool, GoBots, but you wasn't. Alright, so now we have Ulysses 31, which is a French show, if I'm not mistaken. It's kind of a weird show. It's like a sci-fi adventure series based on Greek mythology, which is kind of interesting. I've only seen like 2 episodes of it though. So based solely on that, it does seem like something I might want to deep dive into one day. But based solely on that, I'm just going to give it B tier because it does seem interesting, but I don't know enough about it to want to put it up higher. And now we have, speaking of things that did not deserve a cartoon series, Rambo. Truthfully, I don't remember watching the show that much. I had the action figures though. So again, I might not be a good judge of where to put this. From movie about PTSD to GI. Yeah, yeah. Talk about missing the point. At least RoboCop like touched on a lot of the things, some of the themes of the movie. Granted, they didn't go obviously as deep into it as the movie did because it was a cartoon. But again, I think just based on the fact that they tried to turn Rambo into G.I. Joe. And again, I've not seen enough of this. Maybe there's some good episodes, but I think right for now, I'm gonna put it in D tier. So, just based on that. Parting words. Tiger Sharks is D tier mainly because it's kind of mid. Visionaries A or B tier. Okay. Alright. You can watch the rest of this when I upload it to YouTube later. After I download it from Twitch, because I forgot to hit the record button. Ugh. Anyway, little did people know Karate Kid had an animated series. Again, just like with Rambo, I don't remember much about this. I did have the action figures where no, it's not as egregious as Rambo or RoboCop. It could work as an animated series. I've not seen a lot of it, but I remember the toys. I remember the action figures. You get Daniel-san with board chopping action, Mr. Miyagi, and Johnny who kicks, and they had a playset with a ninja guy for some reason. Proto Jackie Chan event. Yeah, good point. All right. Because I don't know enough about it, though, I am going to put it in D tier. This could change. My opinion could change on that, based solely on the. Again, I can only rank these by enjoyment. So if I enjoyed a couple episodes, then I guess that's good enough. And now we have, oh boy, this is relevant. Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling. Guess which part of the title is a lie. Well, technically Hulk Hogan too, because he wasn't even in the show. He was voiced by Brad Garrett. Fun fact, that was Brad Garrett's first acting role. To be Hulk Hogan. That's kind of cool, actually. This show was goofy and silly. And as a wrestling fan growing up, yeah, I saw he was booed on Raw. You know what? Okay, just based on the show, it's silly, but not unwatchable. It's fun. Yeah, listen, Hulk Hogan needs to, not be on TV ever again. I say this as a Hulkamaniac growing up. But yeah, he needs to just retire. He needs to just enjoy his retirement. Just stay off TV. Shut the hell up. Just enjoy your free money. Poor Jimmy Hart was out there with him. He didn't deserve that. Anyway. Chuck Norris Karate Commandos. The 5-episode animated series. I still can't believe this only got 5 episodes. That's unbelievable. Although, I feel like that's enough for Chuck Norris Karate Commandos. It came, it did its thing, and then it left. It didn't overstay its welcome. So, yes, he does, of course. But I'm gonna be honest, this show is a lot of fun to watch. You know what? I'm gonna put it in A tier because it's so much fun. There are compilations on YouTube of the crazy moments from this. Watch those. Alright, next we have the Berenstain Bears. It has always been Berenstain. There's never been Steen. There was no Mandela effect. There was no alternate universe. You just said it wrong because it's a more common thing to say. Alright? I actually have a VHS tape of this. I used to watch it. Although I read the books more. It's fine. For kid show. I'll put it in B tier. It's perfectly fine. And now we have Teen Wolf. Which, if I'm not mistaken, is the origin of this. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm not, though. Yeah, the dancing gif of the two 80s dudes. I think that is Teen Wolf. No, again, it's not as weird as RoboCop or Rambo. It lends itself well to Saturday morning cartoon. Although again, I've not watched a lot. I vaguely remember watching it, but Not a whole lot. So for now, I'm just going to put it in D tier. Again, this could change. Should I decide to deep dive into it? Richie Rich, which surprisingly I remember watching a lot of. Eat the Rich. Richie Rich is okay though. He seems like a good person at the very least. He invites all his friends over at his nice place to hang out, even though they don't have money. Even his dick friends. Yeah, I used to watch it on Cartoon Network all the time. I liked the robot maid who would show up and beat people up for him. I like the wacky professor guy. Because of this, I actually enjoyed the Macaulay Culkin movie, even though the robot was in. I think she was in the second movie. It's okay. It's got Scooby-Doo energy. Actually, I'll put it in C tier. It's fine. Bionic 6. I still have action figures of this show. Basically, Irona and Dr. Keenbean, yeah. Very short series, really. Interesting. Bionic 6 is, it was kind of a cool show. It was like, they were like adopted family and they had like bionic powers and they were like part robot and stuff. And there was a guy whose whole thing was baseball and they had a giant robot monkey or gorilla. Actually, I love the gorilla. I love the giant robot gorilla. Surprisingly, this show has not gotten any type of official release either. So that's kind of interesting. Weird. Some of the most obscure things get released on DVD. This never did. Rights issues? Might be. Or maybe it just got overlooked. I do remember liking it. I'm gonna give it a B tier. The intro theme is awesome too, of course. Although that can be said for a lot of these. That almost goes without saying when talking about 80s cartoons. Speaking of which, Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs. This, much like Voltron, was, and Robotech actually, was a American adaptation of a Japanese show, anime. What is interesting, however, about Saber Rider is that there were episodes produced specifically for the US release. And you can pick them out very easily because the animation style changes drastically. Yeah. In fact, the first episode of it I saw was from a rented VHS tape. It was the Gold Rush episode, which was an American released episode. Great voice acting in this. You get to hear Rob Paulsen do a British accent. A suave British gentleman. I remember Peter Cullen voiced one of the villains. And there was a giant robot with a cowboy hat. And they had robot horses. You know what? I'm giving that A tier because that's a fun show. Ow, my elbow. I hit my elbow. Ow. Ow. Oh. My funny bone. Why do they call it a funny bone if it hurts so bad? Alright. Yeah, another one. Goltar and the Golden Lance. Much like Thundar the Barbarian, I kind of remember enjoying this. Again, you gave me, like, fantasy adventure series. He-Man, She-Ra, Thundercats, Dungeons and Dragons. Wherever I put Thundar, I lost track of him. It's, oh, there he is. He's right there. I loved that shit as a kid. I don't know how well this show holds up, but I don't find it nearly as memorable as Thundar, though. So I am going to now put this in C tier. My opinion could change. Yep, the 80s cartoon tier list. We're now pretty much caught up with cartoons. So now we have Galaxy High School. Fun fact about this show. The original idea for this was, and I forget the name of the show. It was originally going to be an American adaptation of that one anime that, it got a remake recently. What's the anime with the alien girl with like the tiger stripe skimpy outfit and the horns and the green hair? It was supposed to be an adaptation of that, like an Americanized version of that. Eurocity, yeah, that's what this originally was going to be. That being said, this is very well animated. I believe this was done by TMS. It is about a popular guy, high school guy, and the not so popular girl from the high school who get kind of sent to alien high school, where like she's become the popular one and he gets ridiculed constantly. Yeah, TMS. I feel like there's a lot of mean-spiritedness to some of that though, but from what I've seen of it, it's a decent show. I'm gonna put it in B tier for just for the visuals and animation alone. Oh, my back. What is this? Foofer? Foofer. Is this a UK show or something? This must be a foreign show. I don't recognize... Hold on. I'm looking this up right now. Foofer. It is a show about dogs. Foofer. American. No, it's American. From Kissy Fur creator. Ooh, I wonder... Is Kissy Fur on here? Tall, skinny, blue bloodhound named Foofer is taking refuge in a mansion. I don't think I've seen this. Who made this? Who made this? Comedy Adventure Slave. What production company is this? It's it's a Hanna-Barbera show. Huh. I've not seen that. Wow, that's... Wow. Guys, an 80s cartoon I don't know. How is that possible? That... wow. Guys, I'm genuinely shocked by this. Yeah, I know, right? Huh. Well, I mean, it seems like it had 2 seasons, really? 26. Wow. Foofer was voiced by Frank Welker. Oh, Peter Cullen was in it too. He voiced a baby rat. He voiced Baby, one of the Rat brothers, a fat, violent rat. Optimus Prime, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Amazing that I still find 80s cartoons that I just don't know. Moving on. Hero High. A show I'm aware of, but I don't think I've really watched a whole lot of it. I remember seeing the intro for it, but I don't think I've ever really watched it much. I'm assuming it is what it sounds like. It's a high school for heroes. 80s My Hero Academia. Out of just fairness, I think I will also put this in never seen. You know what? I have an idea. I have an idea. Add row below. I'm gonna make that bright. No. Oh, that'll change that color. I don't remember what color it was. Ah. All right, it's yellow now. Go away. Blue. Light blue. Okay, we're good. I'm going to change this to gray for sadness. There we go. Oh, God damn it. My bad. All fixed. Yeah, again, I've heard of it, but never seen it. So maybe we do this now. Sectars. Another very short-lived animated show. I love the premise, but I remember the toys more than the show. So I would like to deep dive into this as well. I mean, I think it's only 5 episodes. So my opinion could change. I'm gonna make it average. I have seen it. I can't put it in here because I've not seen it. So, actually, were there any other things that? You know what? Let's go back real quick and go through stuff that I know that I've not really seen. Okay, I don't think I've seen like much of Alf. I remember, like I said, I remember the show much. I remember the live action show more, believe it or not. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah. Good luck finding quality of it. Yeah. Speaking of which, Tiger Sharks, the third Rankin Bass show that is the same thing. It's not very good. It's weird because it wasn't really a show on its own. It was part of like the was it comic strip, which had like 3 or 4 other shows that no one ever talks about. No, it was definitely 80s. Surprisingly, there's not a lot of surviving footage of the show apparently. Fun fact, the toys are some of the most valuable and expensive action figures because they're so rare. My cousin had one. No DVD. Beverly Hills Teens. I have not seen this, but I remember the intro. It is 80s as fuck. It's got like the synthesizer. It's like and it's about rich kids, so it's like, nothing for me there. It has like over 100 episodes. Yeah. Then we have Maxie's World, which again I'm also aware of, but I've never watched it. I'm guessing she's like a Barbie knockoff. Oh god, the Get Along Gang. Ugh. You gotta go with everybody. You gotta trust your friends and blah 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 blah. The girl with the giant hair. Lady Lovely Locks. I think I saw her on here somewhere. We'll probably get to it. Buddy Bears. Yes, yes. So, fun fact. Someone who worked on Garfield and Friends worked on, you know what? Worked on Get Along Gang. And that's where the Buddy Bears came from, because they were supposed to be making fun of them. I love stuff like that. I love, like, early industry stuff where it's like they're making fun of other shows. Oh, I bet. Okay, moving on. The Wuzzles! Ah, I love the Wuzzles. The Wuzzles was, I think, one of the first Disney cartoons. Well, one of the first cartoon series of the 80s. Yeah, TV cartoon. Is before DuckTales, before all those. Again, I don't think I've seen much of the show. I remember the toys. It's like Bumble Lion and Butter Bear and other horrible hybrid crimes against God. I'm gonna put that in not seen, just because I'm not overly familiar with it. Heathcliff is a Kmart despite coming. Yeah, true. Here's the thing about Heathcliff, though. He had a better theme song. And he was voiced by Mel Blanc. Which, fun fact, and I didn't know this for the longest time, Heathcliff in the comic strip did not talk. He was just a cat. So, yeah, they this like whole persona was specifically for the cartoon. And I'm thinking the Cadillac Cats were also original to the show. I'm not entirely sure. Cat girl with legworms. No inner thoughts like Garfield. Nope. He was just a cat. Apparently, the Heathcliff comic strips are still going, and they've gotten like weirdly bizarre. Like there's like jokes that have like no meaning to them, or just like one. It was a couple of years ago. Somebody posted one where I think it really started going downhill. It was like Heathcliff wearing a helmet that says meat on it. And the caption was, "Everyone loves the meat helmet." And it's like, what? Yeah, no punchlines. Like, what? What's happening with Heathcliff? I don't know, man. Just look up recent Heathcliff. Yes, I know about Cleo, the cat guy. Anyway, I'm gonna put... Okay. Heathcliff is not as, like, thought-provoking as Garfield, but he was fun. And again, he had the better theme song. Heathcliff, no one should terrorize the neighborhood. That's such a banger, even to this day. Now we have Starcom. This was a show made with partnership of... I think it was NASA? Not to be confused with, it was boring. Yeah, I was getting to that. Not to be confused with The Young Astronaut, which is a whole other thing. Basically, they wanted to do, like, sci-fi space adventures, but they wanted to add, like, real science to it. And it was a neat idea, but I feel like it wasn't executed well. The toys were fun, though. They were little dudes with magnets on their boots, so they would, like, stick upside down to, like, the space shuttles and space stations and stuff. It was kind of fun. And had little wind-up features. Yeah, okay, Starcom gets an A for effort, but they say something. Yeah. It gets an A for effort, but unfortunately it, well, it was a failure to launch, if I may use a, pun there. Oh god, it's Ralph Bakshi's Mighty Mouse. This was like Ren and Stimpy before Ren and Stimpy. I remember the original Mighty Mouse on, like, reruns. And then this came out, and it was fucking demented. Oh yeah, it was John K. Or was it Ralph Bakshi? No, they were working on it together. That's where, like, John K. got, like, that's where he got his weird, like, stories from Ralph Bakshi, if I remember correctly. I only remember a little. Yeah, that's how they got their weird stories. That's why there was an episode of unfortunately, Adult Party Cartoon, where they basically, it was John K. Fuck John K. He was basically just retelling a lot of his actual interactions with Ralph Bakshi through an episode of Ren and Stimpy. Apparently he was like a nightmare to live with. Anyway, I'm gonna put... I don't remember... I remember like one episode of it. I think in fairness, I'm gonna put it in Never Seen. Even though I know I've seen it, I just don't remember a lot of it. I'm sure, given who's worked on it, we can guess how it was. Yeah. Oh god, The Biscuits. I think this was a Hanna-Barbera show. This was about these tiny dog critters who, it was like a medieval setting. There were these dogs, they were like tiny. They're like little elf. You see he's riding a frog. I'm aware of this, but I don't think I've seen much of it. Yeah, they were in the Jellystone cartoon. Very briefly. As I think product mascots or something like that. Yeah, I don't think I've watched the show. I'm well aware of it, but I've never seen it. Defenders of the Earth. The Dime Store Justice League, as I like to call it. This was Flash Gordon, the Phantom, the Magician guy, who I can't remember the name of, and then Lotor, who is just like a guy made for the show. Mandrake, Mandrake, yeah, okay. Yeah, this was interesting because they, like, involved their children. Unfortunately, I found out that this show was another victim of Q5. The people that meddled with Ghostbusters, preventing it from being an S-tier show. Yeah, kid sidekicks. Yeah, except Q5 had way more, like, influence over this. With Ghostbusters, they came in later and ruined the show, but this one, they ruined it from the start. Although, I don't think... I remember kind of liking it. It's interesting seeing, like, these weird, offbeat, like, pulp hero characters put together. Was that when Slimer went to... Yes! That was one of their demands. More Slimer. Yes. Yes. That was them. That was their fault. That was when they turned Janine into more motherly, and they gave her round glasses because they thought pointy glasses scare children. Real thing they said. Real thing they said. I don't know. I don't remember. I actually don't remember the show that much. It's, again, worth a deep dive, I think. So, I think I've seen it, but I'm going to put it in Never Seen because I don't remember anything about it. Winston should be there. Yeah, I remember seeing that too. They did a lot of things to that show. So wrong. Oh boy, this might just be the whole stream, guys. We still got a lot to get through. Cops. Central Organization of Police Specialists. Fun to watch to this day. Berserko alone makes this show worth it. Especially the one episode where he tries to steal the bridge. Yeah, Freakpod knows. Freakpod knows. And it does have connections to G.I. Joe, so that's kind of neat. It's not as good as G.I. Joe, but it's a fun one to watch. The world's largest balloon. Yeah, the bit where he's shopping for Big Boss's birthday party. So he goes in to a costume store, buys a bunch of Halloween masks. Then him and his boys put the masks on, go in and rob the store. Whoever came up with that bit deserves a fucking medal, because that was the funniest shit ever. Yeah, the drugs episode. Logo, you could. It's not impossible. I wouldn't mind them like doing a re-release of the toys, like they in like a 6-inch style, like they did with G.I. Joe Classifieds, and maybe have them work together, and then we can finally have Beachhead reunited with his supposed grandson, Wayne R. Sneeden III. These are obscure references. Pole Position. Another video game adaptation, one that I've actually been meaning to review. I can't believe they adapted Pole Position to a cartoon. It was a racing game for Atari. There wasn't even any characters in it. To this day, this is the most baffling video game adaptation to me, even more so than Pac-Man, because at least Pac-Man is a character. I do like the theme song though. But again, I don't remember a lot of it. I have been meaning to do a cartoon clip show on it though. So, in all fairness, I'm gonna put it in Never Seen. Teens Transform. That was Turbo Teen, which I don't see on this list, surprisingly. Gummy Bears. Ah, yes, Gummy Bears. Arguably the best of the Disney afternoon cartoons. I love Gummy Bears. You know, I'm putting it next to DuckTales because that's where it belongs. Ah, my girl Rainbow Bright. What do I do with you? Okay, I have openly admitted that I, oh, the Gummy Bears theme song? Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. By the way, that, I'm sorry, every time I see that, the Cat in the Hat nodding, like, until I scroll over with my mouse and see what it actually is, it just looks like the Mike Myers Cat in the Hat to me. Yeah, I probably did. So I remember this is the show, the one girl show that I admitted to watching when I was little. She-Ra does not count because it's part of He-Man. I remember the movie, but I might want to like dive into this one day also. But I did like the movie. I liked, I think it was the pilot episode where like that kid showed up in her world and he was like all like rainbow stained or whatever. I'm gonna put her, you know what, as far as like the girls shows of the 80s, when you have stuff like this to compare it to, this was not bad. Oh god. Bobos. Not to be confused with Bobo, the anime. This is different. I've actually not seen this. I'm aware of it. I actually own a VHS of it. I've never watched it. It's about these little pint-sized like gnome aliens that come to Earth. And I don't know much else beyond that. might be worth a look one day. But yeah, I found out about it because of I bought a lot of VHS tapes a couple of years ago, and this was one of these was in it. And I was like, "What is this? Yet another cartoon I had never heard of. That's not possible. I refuse to believe that there's 80s cartoons that I've not heard of." Anyway, what were we oh yeah. I've not seen it, but I am aware of it. Ah, the raccoons. Look, there's Bert. Real Bert for once on the stream. With the Stardew Valley music playing over. Oh, perfect. Everything is lining up. So I do really like this show, this series. I find the specials more memorable than the show, although the show was very good. We didn't really see a lot of it in the US at the time because, if I remember correctly, it aired on the Disney Channel. And back in the early days of cable, there were packages you had to buy, and certain channels were not available in those packages. I did not have the Disney Channel for a very long time. So, dude who's obsessed with cutting down yeah. That's Cyril Sneer. Such a great villain. So emotive. I love that guy. You know what? My boy Bert. I'm gonna make this an A tier. Because it's a fine show. And my boy Bert is in it. There he is, look. Center of attention. The only one with the sense to wear clothes. Except whoever that is. My boy said you're cutting down trees. Okay, now we have The Littles. This was a show I discovered when I was younger. It was on at like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning. Rocket Raccoon, the characters and the raccoons. I don't know. That's a good question. He's very gritty compared to them. Seemed annoying. I've only seen a little bit of it. I actually, believe it or not, saw an episode of it recently. I mentioned that I keep coming across people been doing like cartoon block compilations on YouTube with like commercials in between and everything. And I saw one of those not too long ago with an episode of this. It was about the main kid who's like friends with the Littles, won a trip to go visit a celebrity. And it turns out the celebrity was an alcoholic. And he got drunk and was like driving a car or something. Yeah. And then like one of the Littles tried the alcohol and was like driving a toy car around drunk. I mean, just based on that alone, it's kind of funny. I mean, it's not funny, but you know, it's okay. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Punky Brewster Show. I forgot Punky Brewster had a cartoon. I've not watched, just like with Alf, I watched more of the live action than I did with the cartoon. I know in the cartoon she has like a friend, like a little furry friend who lives in her closet and they go on adventures or whatever. Here's an embarrassing thing with me. I mean, because I was young at the time, I got Punky Brewster confused with, what was that other show with the robot girl? There was a show, Small Wonder, yeah. I used to get those two shows confused. I think it's because it was just like a little girl with pigtails. She had pigtails, right? I don't know. But yeah, I used to get those two shows confused. I've not watched a lot of the Punky Brewster animated show, so I'm gonna put that there. Depends on the hair. Yeah. Teddy Ruxpin, the animated series. Screw anybody that says Teddy Ruxpin is creepy. He's not. Teddy Ruxpin's cool. The show, you know, I actually, I remember seeing it, but I don't remember much about it. I remember more the live action TV special they did with the puppets, which is still impressive, like how they did all those. I would love to dive into this one day. Oh yeah, we're getting to that. In fact, let's just go ahead and dunk Teddy Ruxpin in here for now. That goddamn show. Kid Video. Oh, Kid Video. If there was ever any of these that encapsulated the 80s, it is this. It's basically like, what was it? It was like ABC or NBC's answer to MTV. This fucking Cowboy Bob. Oh, God. What do I do with this, is the question. Because it is not a good show. But it is a fun show. Some of the songs were really good. Deke, yes, it is Deke. I like some of the songs. And the fact that it kind of stood on its own absurdity. You know what? Not a good show, but fun to watch. I'm going to put it in C tier. It is weird, though. It is very weird. Fun fact, Robbie Rist, who voices this dude, he went on to voice Michelangelo in the live-action movie. Also, he did anime voiceovers. If I remember correctly, he was the English voice of Choji from Naruto. There's your little fun fact. Duckula. Where's Danger Mouse? You know, let's just get these together. Yep, that's true. We got Duckula and we got Danger Mouse. Two shows that aired on Nickelodeon back in the early days. Duckula is really good. They showed these on Nickelodeon back in the early days when they had, yeah, from the UK. When they didn't really have a lot of their own original programs, and they were kind of borrowing from other things. Yeah, I did really like Duckula. Honestly, I find it more memorable than Danger Mouse. Danger Mouse was fun, though. We'll put that in B tier. I haven't seen the reboot of Danger Mouse. I don't know if it's any good. Along with Le Mons, yep. Spartacus, that's the last one, actually. Goddamn ads. Okay. Jason the Wheeled Warriors. One of, if not the best cartoon intros. Goes very hard. Actually, hold on. Is Mysterious Seas of Gold on here? Mysterious Seas of Gold is not on here. What? I know. Yes. Alright, for the record, Galaxy Rangers right there. Hold on, we gotta scan this real quick. We gotta see if there's... Okay, Brave Star is right there. I thought Brave Star wasn't on here. Alright, so they got pretty much everything else except for... Okay, for the record, Mysterious Seas of Gold goes in S tier. I don't know why they didn't put it on here. They must have forgot. Anyway, Jason the Wheeled Warriors. Another weird show, but a fun show. I feel like maybe it was a little too long. Like, 52 episodes is a bit much. Deke, yeah. Good old Deke. Great intro. I'm gonna put it in. It doesn't get like fun to watch after a while because then it starts out really weird. Incomplete too. It's a shame. You know what? I'm gonna give it an A tier for the intro alone. Again, we're ranking these by enjoyment level, not necessarily if they're any good. Sometimes they're bad, they're not enjoyable too. So you know. David the Gnome. That's a really good show. Another import to Nickelodeon. David the Gnome goes in S tier. Such a good show. One a lot of people talk about, but it was. Yeah, I don't think I've seen a whole lot of it. I remember the intro to it. Fun fact, Andre, Black Nerd Comedy on YouTube, I don't think he uses his intro anymore, but when he did, he actually based the music chords off of the intro to Beverly Hills Teens. Popular in Spain. Yeah, well, it's from Europe. I want to say... Was it UK or was it one of the Scandinavian countries? I don't remember. Oh yeah, the ending was messed up. I never saw the ending when I originally watched it. And then I found out about it years later. I was like, oh god. The 80s, yes, I remember Maya the Bee on Nickelodeon. Anyway, Wildfire. Okay, I'm aware of this show, but I've never seen it. It's about like a magic horse or something. Exact videos. No, I haven't actually. Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually watched Wildfire, but I'm aware of what it is. Lost Princess and Magic Horse. Ooh, neat. Sounds cool. Okay, I think that's Lady Love. Hold on, let me move it. I can't see. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about, that Lady Lovely Locks. Another girls show. You go up here with all the other girls shows that are basically the same. Transported to Earth to escape an evil queen. She has a magic horse. Oh, cool. Sounds awesome. Maybe I'll watch it one day. Goldie Gold. Archer's mom voices the... Really? In Wildfire? Huh. Goldie Gold. Okay, you want to talk Eat the Rich? Yes. Yes, I remember watching this too. This is like if Richie Rich was unlikable. This show is bad. No, Ruby Spears, if I'm not mistaken. This was bad but enjoyable. Good bad, but still bad. Did I put Richie Rich? Where did I put Richie Rich? I don't want to put him. I don't want to put this above Richie Rich. Okay. Okay, it's in the same row, but it's like further down. Okay, good. The Adventures of Raggedy Ann and Andy. Spoilers, this was going to be the next Cartoon Clip Show episode. Because I remembered this existed. And I needed something lighter to come down from He-Man. This was Raggedy Ann's Saturday morning cartoon in the 80s. I forgot about this until I found out it was released on DVD. So I got the DVD. From what I remember of it, and I'm gonna have to refresh myself once I get around to reviewing it. Raggedy Ann, Andy, and all the little toy friends, they live in this kid's playroom, and when she leaves, they come to life, and they go on adventures without her, which is kind of a dick move. Kind of, if you're asking me. But yeah, it's short-lived. It might have also been Deke, I'm not entirely sure. But that's all I remember of it. It seems fine. For now, I'm going to put it in never seen because I don't remember a lot of it, but I will be refreshing myself on it very soon. So this could change. You never seen the Raggedy Ann cartoon, really? I remember liking it, but eh. Okay, this is the Bluffers or the Bufflers. What the heck is it? I'm aware of this, but I've not watched it. Did I watch the musical Adventures? Yeah, I watched that one. That is an interesting. Fun fact, the creators of the Amazing Digital Circus are big fans of that movie and got a lot of inspiration from it for Digital Circus. There you go. The Bluffers. I know of this, but I don't remember what it is. Let me get a refresher here. I think it's like just like a bunch of animals. The Bluffers. Based on also. Bluffalonia once was a beautiful country before the crazed maniac Clandestino took over. Clandestino turned the beautiful place into this. Why? Because Clandestino is afraid of the Bluffers will get his secret. The secret of getting it all. That what did an AI write that? What the fuck? Can I get a premise? It's based on a book series. Fictitious land, Bluffalonia, their ongoing struggle against the tyrant Clandestino. It plans to destroy the. Oh, it's okay. All right, he's just destroying the forest. Okay. Sonic Sat.AM before. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I'm aware of it, but I've not seen it. I have a VHS tape of this too, along with the Bobos. So maybe we'll check that out at some point. Little Wizards. What is this? Okay, this has to be a UK show. There's no way. I don't know what this is. I'm looking it up right now. Little Wizards. American. Oh, really? Marvel Productions worked on this. Ownership of the series passed to Disney when Disney acquired Fox Kids, which also includes Marvel Productions series, is not available on Disney Plus, but a big shock. The series follows the fortunes of Dexter, a young prince without a crown, whose father, the old king, is dead. Soon after that, the evil wizard Renvik stole the crown and proclaimed himself king. He ordered his servants to imprison Dexter for fear he would get in his way. However, Dexter fled into the woods, where he was found by the good magician Phineas, who rescued him. Phineas lives with a young dragon called Lulu. When preparing a potion, Dexter unwillingly caused an explosion, bringing to life 3 monsters endowed with magic powers: Wrinkle, Gump, and Boo. Okay. 13 episodes. 87 to 88 that the Stardew Valley music stopped. I'm just gonna start it over. Wow. Another one I've never heard of. How's that possible? I was supposed to know all the 80s cartoons. How many shows did Q5 get their hands on? Oh, Q5? This is a Q5 show? Really? I didn't read that part. Oh yeah, at the bottom. Shit. Fucking Q5. Okay, I see it. I'm just kind of baffled that we have now found 2 80s cartoons that I do not know of. This is not cool, man. Fraggle Rock, the animated series. This was very short-lived. This was I guess they wanted a toned-down version of Fraggle Rock because the live-action show was what got kind of like heavy sometimes. This was more catered toward a younger audience, I think. It was okay. It's not as good as... I'll be generous and give it a C tier. It's not as good as the actual show. But, yeah, it exists for some reason. Wily Fog. This is... I think this might be a British show. It's based loosely on Around the World in 80 Days. I'm very familiar with it. I'm very aware of it, but I don't think I've ever watched any of it. So yeah, that'll go in never seen. Spain, okay. Okay, what is this? Who is this duck? The name is cut off. I don't know who this duck is. Crocodile Duck Team. No, that's not what it is. Is it? No, the words are too small. There's no way. Okay, I'm gonna put you in never heard of until we figure out who the hell you are. Trollkins. What is Trollkins? Guys, why are we finding 80s cartoons that I know nothing about? Trollkins. Oh, there it is. 1981. Okay, so this was very early. So I probably, like, missed it. Small race of trolls with green, blue, and purple faces who live in a tree community called Trolltown. The episodes follow the adventures of Blitz, voiced by Steve J. Spears, Pixley, voiced by Jennifer Darling, and the pet companion Flocky, voiced by Frank Welker, of course. Blitz's father, Mayor Lumpkin, voiced by Paul Winchell, was somewhat of a short, incompetent, hot-headed fumble mouth of a mayor who spoke in spoonerisms. Spooner? What is a spoonerism? Each consisting of vowels or... Okay, whatever, it's not important. Prepared the same production in Hanna-Barbera. Essentially a cross between the Smurfs and the Dukes of Hazzard. What? That's an interesting combination. This was Hanna-Barbera, by the way. How have I not seen this? You mean to tell me that they did not air this, like, on, like, 3 in the morning on Cartoon Network? When you swap the first letter of each word. Ring kid... Ah, okay. Guys, this hurts. This hurts my soul. Too many yeah. Hanna-Barbera has to have more cartoons than any other production company. Like, we keep digging up shit that they've done. Like these two. Anyway, Muppet Babies. Great show. I love Muppet Babies. That's an A tier. I have experienced so many movies through this at a young age. Like, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, The Blob, Fantastic Voyage. This was kind of like entry level to a lot of movies I saw. They made 80% of really. Stop the Smoggies. I am vaguely aware of what this is. It is, I don't think I've seen it, though. It's I think an environmental show, of course. The Paw Paws. This was Hanna-Barbera, I think. Or it might have been Ruby Spears, I don't know. They were like, bears, and they were like a native tribes in the woods. And there was like the evil bear who wanted to, like, I don't know, take over. The white people made Native American. Hey, listen, they did a thing in this show where, like, they had this sacred totem of like a turtle and a bear and an eagle, and they would come to life and fight the bad guys. That was awesome. Also, if I remember correctly, the main characters had flying horses. But I think that's all I remember. I remember it being on. I know I've seen it. It's probably okay. Probably perfectly fine. Average. I'll give it. Okay, Flintstones Kids is one of those shows that gets brought up when people bring up the kids and babies era of cartoons, where we started with Muppet Babies, and then we had a pup named Scooby-Doo, and then there was Flintstone Kids, and Popeye had a son, and there's Pink Panther and Sons right there also, and then there was Tom and Jerry Kids. I can tell you from personal experience, having been there, that nobody really looks back fondly on this era. And Yo Yogi, yeah. This was not really... It was like a trend for a while, and then it kind of petered out. With the exception of Muppet Babies and maybe a pup named Scooby-Doo. None of these are really remembered that well. Flintstones Kids, the only thing I really remember about it was the drugs episode, where they had a Michael Jackson Flintstones character who wasn't even voiced by Michael Jackson. D tier. Pink Panther and Sons, I do remember seeing, but I don't think I remember enough of it. So in fairness, I'm gonna put it in never seen, but I have seen it. I should actually, you know, just never seen / don't remember much. Fix that. There we go. There we go. That's more accurate. Oh yeah, Pound Puppies. Yeah, the voice of Ursula was the villain. I remember kind of liking it as a kid. It was an okay show. It's kind of a weird premise where they were in the pound, but they were trying to not get caught or something. I like the idea of them like finding dogs and then they have like a magical machine that finds them an owner. Like it's okay. It's okay. Fine. Gets a pass. The Yogi Bear and Boo Boo show. It's Yogi Bear and Boo Boo. What do you want? What do you want from me? Probably fine also. I like Yogi Bear. He's a fun character. Mighty Orbots. Very underrated show. With a few hiccup. Oh, what's happening? What'd I do? With a few hiccups. I'm gonna put it in A tier. It deserves to be an S tier though. S tier. I'm actually leaning on putting it in S tier. You know what? It's gonna get S tier for its animation alone. Low toy sales. And then they got sued by GoBots, of all things. Unbelievable. Embarrassing, even. They deserved better. Fantastic Max. Yes, I feel like we were talking about Fantastic Max in a previous stream. Incidentally. I thought it was God. Yeah, well, Godmars was a similar robot that was licensed by Tonka. And then Mighty Orbots came out and they were like, hey, that kind of looks like our robot that we definitely own. Stop. And then Mighty Orbots was sued into oblivion. Yeah, Fantastic Max. It's like, it's a baby who goes on space adventures. I remember liking it. It's fine. I liked his little buddies, the robot guy who's basically like C-3PO, and then the little alien dude, voiced by Tress MacNeille, if I remember correctly. It's fine, average, whatever. The Sylvanian family. So, there's another one that I see missing from this list. There was a show called Mapletown. They was basically the same as this. They were based on little furry, flocked, like little figures for kids, and it's like, oh look, here's the bear family, and oh, here's the rabbit family. Look, it's the mom and the dad and the son and the brother and the sister. And then there was another one called Mapletown, which is basically the same thing. It was on Nickelodeon. The difference is Mapletown was like its own thing. In this one, they had like a kid every week, like some magical woodsman dude sends a kid to this world, and they have like fun adventures. Oh hey, my patriarch demands that you include Super Ted and Banana Man if you haven't already. Banana Man is here somewhere. He's lost in the mix. There he is. Super Ted is not here, surprisingly. We have noticed that there's a couple of things missing. So, yeah. Mysterious Cities of Gold is not on here, we noticed. That should be an S tier. But yeah, Sylvanian Families, it was okay. It's fine for what it is. See, basically average is like, yeah, sure. Then we have Zorro. Is this the Filmation Zorro? I think I remember seeing like one episode of this. It's Filmation. I mean, what do you want from me? Probably okay. Actually, you know what? I feel more comfortable. I've seen one episode, but I feel like it should be in, like, maybe average. Dink the Little... Oh, it is the Filmation one. Okay, right. I knew Filmation did Zorro. I just don't remember if this was the one, but I guess it is. That came out in the 80s? Really? I thought that was older than that. Huh. Trapdoor deserves its own claymation genre. Yeah, Trapdoor is not on here either. I don't know who made this list, but they slipped. They put a couple of things that... Well, they left out a bunch of things that should be on here. Instead, we get Dink the Little Dinosaur, the show that supposedly ripped off Land Before Time, although it came out a little too close to it, I think. So I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that this might be a coincidence. I believe this was Hanna-Barbera that made this. It was okay for what it is. You found the Duck Show? What's the Duck Show? This one? What's the Duck Show? We can't read the title. We were trying to figure out who the hell this is. Alfred J. Quack. Okay, I have to look this up now. Alfred J. Quack, 1989. A children's animated comedy drama television series based on a Dutch theater show. What is the plot? Alfred J. Quack was born as the son of Jonathan, Sebastian, and Anna Quack. Sometime after his birth, Alfred loses his parents and his brothers and sisters after a car hits. Oh no, they got isekai. After a car hits them as they're moving. Wow, really? They're moving their home during the heavy rainstorm. Alfred was saved due to his being distracted by a frog, which he broke away from his family to chase. Hank the Mole, a good friend of the Quack family, raises the little orphan duck. This is fucked up. What the hell? God damn. TV Tokyo. Oh, wait. Oh, this is an... Oh, it is an anime. In production with VARA, ZDF, Television Espanol, and TV Tokyo. Okay, this is a multi-dimensional. Unlike many other cartoons inspired for children, Alfred J. Quack features exceptionally mature and often dark themes amongst others. It deals with different social and political issues such as abuse of power, but also raises important values such as friendship and solidarity. Well, solidarity, really? Notable for political themes, which it touches on. Oh no, it's gonna get political. Alfred fights against a fascist dictator. Takes in refugees from... what the fuck is... Where has this show been my whole life? Wow. Okay. I still have never heard of it, so it's gotta stay here. But this one might be worth a look. Okay, moving on. This might be... guys, this might be the whole stream. Like, I don't know what to tell you. We're spending so much time on this. It's like my favorite subject ever, but... yeah. Anyway, Black Star. The precursor to He-Man. That would be a great... I'm getting many ideas for Cartoon Clip Show episodes from this. I will have this video as reference now. Black Star, the precursor to He-Man. I never watched the show as a kid, but I had the action figures, and I never, for the longest time, knew what they were from. It had an AIDS... Did it have an AIDS episode like Captain Planet? Maybe it did. We don't know. So yeah, it's, Black Star. I think it's, like, based, loosely on, like, John Carter, where he's, like, an astronaut, and he crashes on this savage alien world, and he becomes, like, their hero. Again, I remember the toys. I only watched one episode of this. Fun fact, the DVD set is ungodly expensive. I'm going to, in good well, I don't remember it being very good. I mean, it's Filmation. It's, okay, you know what? In all fairness, I'm gonna put it in never seen, don't remember much. But it might be worth a deep dive one day. Now, Brave Star, on the other hand, I have seen. This is Filmation's best cartoon. Now, you want to talk about a drugs episode? Ooh, look up the Brave Star drugs episode. I will not elaborate further. I do have to, I kind of want to review this one day, though. My god. Brave Star, though. Oof. I'm putting it in S tier. It's a good one. It has, like, a complex villain, surprisingly. Like, they go into Tex Hex's backstory. And, the characters are cool. I like 3030, the horse with the gun. The gun, Sarah Jane. Denver, the last dinosaur. He's my friend and a whole lot more. This is another show that kind of just oozes 80s. It doesn't hold up that well because of that, unfortunately. It's not as, like, memorably stupid and weird like Kid Video is. Where did I even put Kid Video? I don't remember. There it is. But it's fine from what I remember of it. They have a pet dinosaur and they have to hide him from, like, the scientists or whatever. And, they're, like, totally rad 80s dudes. He plays guitar and he wears sunglasses. Dinosaur. Oh, they're right there. Dinosaur is right there. They remembered Dino Saucers. And Dino Riders. We'll get to those in a minute. Yeah, it's okay. I think they tried to reboot this, if I remember correctly. Boo today, you don't like Denver? But he's so cool, look at him with his 80s shades. Anyway, the Dukes of Hazzard animated show. I don't think I've ever seen this. I'm pretty sure I've seen some of the actual show of the Dukes of Hazzards. At least I remember this more than Trollkins, actually. Then we got Dino Riders. One of the greatest concepts for a show ever. This is, Dino Riders gonna take off like Trent. No. Here's the thing, they kinda, like... They had dinosaurs... like Starcom. It was surprisingly boring for its premise. This show needed, like... 30 to 40% more dinosaurs with lasers. And it would have been S tier. Like, on premise alone, this is, like, really cool, but, like, in execution, it kind of fell flat. Yeah. Like, I'll put it in B tier just because of the concept. And the toys were cool and they're fun. Fun fact about the toy line. Apparently, the models of the dinosaurs are so accurate and detailed that I think the Smithsonian bought the molds for the figures, and they actually sell them at, like, the gift shops. So you can technically still buy Dino Riders today. It's the Smithsonian or the Natural History Museum, like one of the big museums that deals with dinosaurs. They still technically make Dino Riders toys, just without the lasers. Silverhawks. This one is a show that could very greatly benefit from a reboot. I do love Silverhawks. It's definitely fun to watch still. But, my god, that show is a mess. I reviewed it a while ago. Oh, was that you? Oh, that was you who requested that. Oh. Well, thank you. It was a good request. I would love to do Patreon requests again. My Patreon has, kind of sadly fallen by the wayside because... well, I've not been making content on the main channel. I gotta get back on that. If I can get Cartoon Clip Show out regularly again, I would try to open up Patreon requests again, but as of right now, we can't do that. You will donate if you enjoy my content. Throw me $1 and you get to watch Cartoon Clip Show ad-free on Patreon. Dino Saucers. Not Dino Riders. The other dinosaur show. The other dinosaur show. So far we've been through like 3 of them. 4 of them. It's a dumb 80s show. Kind of fun. Kind of fun to watch. Yeah, it's fun. I might have been a little hard on it in my review. But, It's definitely fun to watch. I too would love for Patreon requests to come back, so I can get money again. What do we got here? Clementine. Clementine? As good as Danger Mouse? We'll see. What is Clementine? Oh no, another show I've never heard of. What is happening? I'm supposed to be the 80s cartoon boy. Why are there still 80s cartoons I don't know about? Clementine cartoon? Yeah, there it is. Clementine. It's French. For the French singer-songwriters... Oh, that's... I thought it was... That's linking to something else. Okay, I'm guessing we didn't get this in the US. Co-produced with Japan. Okay. What year did it come out? I'm not seeing a year. Wow, that's weird. Wikipedia does not have a... Alright, anyway. Clementine is the daughter of a famous French pilot and war hero, Alex Dumont, who raises her alone with her brother, Petit Boy. What? After she loses the use of her legs in an airplane accident, she travels the world with her family to find a cure that will allow her to walk again. Meanwhile, in her nightly dreams, she can walk, and her cat, Hélice, French for propeller, can talk and fly with the help of a helicopter-like apparatus on his head. Okay. Clementine leads a battle against the demon Mount. Whoa, this just escalated. Clementine leads the battle against a demon Malmoth with the guidance of her guardian angel Himera, traveling in a magical blue sphere. Occasionally in these travels, though, through fantasy and time, she meets famous fictional characters such as Pinocchio, Aladdin, and Oliver Twist. She also frequently meets historical characters, especially aviation pioneers such as Charles Lindbergh and Kateri Tekawatika. Why didn't we get... This sounds awesome! Why didn't we get this in the US? I'm losing my mojo. I know. I mean, this was a French show, so maybe we didn't get it in the US. Yeah. But still, it hurts. Yeah, okay, anyway. Inhumanoids. That's an S tier for me. Again, another show that I would love to see come back. Give it the full-on, like, adult treatment. And my only request, do not change Augur. Augur must remain the same. Do not touch him. He was the best part of that show. More made it to US compilation VHS tapes. That happens sometimes. Sky Commanders. Aluro is not here anymore. He was just talking about this show. This was much like how GoBots was Hanna-Barbera's answer to Transformers. This was Hanna-Barbera's answer to G.I. Joe. The premise of it is kind of stupid. I remember playing with the toys a lot, although the strings from the toys would constantly get, like, tangled up. If they're not put away properly. Sky Commanders is not... I'm gonna put that in F tier next to GoBots. Centurions! Secret Galaxy actually just did a re-review of this as well. Seen on Cartoon Network, and Jack Kirby did the... Did he really? Oh, really? I didn't know that. Centurions is a fun show. It is absurd, but it kind of leans into its own absurdity, which is the correct thing to do. Use Lego to make your own Centurions. We have Centurions at home. It is a fun. It has bravado. It is stupid, but it has a certain something to it. It's fun. You know what? I'm putting that in A tier. It's a fun show to watch. It, like I said, it leans into its own absurdity, which is the correct way to do that. Mask. Great intro. Love that show. Mask. Mask Crusaders, seeking overtime, fighting crime, secret raiders who are neutralized soon as they arrive at the site. I should do karaoke streams. You know what though? Unfortunately, in Mask, the show is not very good. It is silly and kind of, Video Marco on YouTube did a bunch of... Oh, really? I think I might have seen those. I think I might have seen that one. I've been meaning to put together a playlist of, like, covers of famous, video game themes. Or not video, famous, cartoon themes. I get them brought up to me, on Spotify a lot. Someone did a cover of, King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. The theme song to that, and it was like a heavy metal version, and it was so good. I forget who did it though. I think it was like an Italian band, because the other songs on their album were in another language. So then we have Visionaries. Short series. Neat idea, but kind of flawed. I remember enjoying the show a little bit. I'm gonna, you know what? It doesn't deserve to be in B tier. I'll put it in A tier. Here's yet another show that had no business being a Saturday morning cartoon, Police Academy. Although, much like with Teen Wolf, wherever I put Teen Wolf, there it is, Teen Wolf. Much like with Teen Wolf, I guess it kind of lent itself to Saturday morning cartoon. I remember the toys. I remember the theme song was done by the Fat Boys. The R-rated and became PG. Yeah. And then there was like... How many sequels did that movie have? It was like 8 sequels? 7. 8 movies total then. No BJ jokes, no, yeah. Instead it was just like wacky shenanigans. And they had like guns that shoot gum to like trip up the bad guys. And they had a bunch of like wacky cartoon bad guys. I remember the toys. I had some of the toys. I had I think I had Zed, whose pants fell down. Who I believe was Bobcat Goldthwait's character in one of the movies. I guess for what it is, it was fine. Probably doesn't hold up very well, and it kind of, even though it had no business being a Saturday morning cartoon, it was okay. It lent itself to it. He was the bad guy who became good. I'm not up on Police Academy lore. I didn't even realize it had that many sequels. And now we have Adventures of the Galaxy Rangers, another show that had an amazing intro theme. No guts, no glory. Hell yeah. Look up the full version of that song. This was a show where they put way too much money into it. Like, everything about this was just, like, expensive. Like, the music, the animation. And then it kind of flopped, which is a shame. I remember really liking it, though. It's definitely not one of the better cartoons, but, it left its mark. So, you know what? It doesn't deserve to be B tier. A tier. Now we have G-Force. Not to be confused with Battle of the Planets. Not to be confused with Gatchaman. Best G-Force on DVD. Oh, really? Cool. Yeah, this was on Cartoon Network. It was, hey, Aluro! We're at the end. The G-Force, or the G... No, we don't know. No, not that G-Force. I was, apparently a lot of people were very upset that that movie was called G-Force because they thought it was going to be an adaptation of this. GoBots in F tier. Yep. Yeah. Next to Sky Commandos. So this was kind of like Power Rangers before Power Rangers. Although that's not a very accurate statement, I think. It was fun. I remember watching it. I liked it. So, you know, I'll give it a B tier. Tiger Shark Sun F tier. Where would you put it? Don't hate it as much as GoBots. Yeah. I put it here. I'm basing this on enjoyability. D tier, 1 up. Okay, that's fair. I'm basing this on enjoyability. You know? Not necessarily if it is a good show or not. Then we have the Spiral Zone, which I'm aware of, but I don't think I've seen much of. So we can actually wrap this list up very quickly. Spartacus and the Sun Beneath the Sea is a show that I... Okay, another really great intro. Like this is on... The intro to this is on the level with Mysterious Cities of Gold. Absent from this list, by the way. But that would be an S tier. Gotta make sure we make that statement. Again. The entire show was boring. Yeah. At least it was short. Spartacus and the Sun Beneath. I love the premise of the show. I love the intro. I love that sense of wonder and adventure that it had. Unfortunately, not all the English episodes were released. Yeah, Mysterious Cities of Gold is... I would rank that as one of, if not the best thing that came out of the 80s. My review of it gets a lot of hits, even to this day. Yeah. Spartacus was... It had a lot of that, and it was... But it was much weirder. Like, the whole premise was weird. Like, it had a very old school, like, sci-fi serial type of thing going on. Where they were traveling, like, through the Earth and to the surface. And they found all these, like, weird societies and weird people. And it was, like, pirates that's chasing them. And, like, the girl in the show was, like, a robot sent from the people at the center of the Earth to see if the surface was livable. And then they found them, and they go on adventures. And they have, you know what? The show has pangolins in it. These little robot dudes are pangolins. Hollow Earth Adventures, yeah. Which is my favorite animal, so you know what? This is getting S tier just for that. I would love to deep dive into the show once, because it does get very weird. Weirdly, though, despite the show being very obscure and under the radar, I think it spawned a meme. Like, there's the pirate dudes that chase them have, like, a musical number, and it became, like, popular for a very short while. So, yeah. I would love to watch more of this at some point. I love stuff like this. If I ever get to make my own show, I kind of want it to have the vibe that this has. So there we go. 80s tier list. 80s cartoon tier list done, even though there's some incomplete things. And, Visionary? Yeah, I put Visionaries in A tier. Visionaries is pretty good. We learned a lot today. We found out that there are still 80s cartoons Rob does not know about. Which is embarrassing. I am the 80s cartoon boy. I should know these things. And there are shows that I know of that I just either don't remember much of, and need a refresher on, or just never watched. Yeah, Turbo Teen is not on here either. There's a couple things still missing. The California Raisins had an animated series. That's not on here. That was a weird show. Jeez. Everybody was like a vegetable in that in that show. It was kind of trippy. I'm trying to let me scan this to see if there's anything else we can see that we're missing. It's amazing. They got so many obscure shows. They missed some like good ones. Do a Thundercats character tier? Maybe. I don't know if there is one. Well, in any case, there is the 80s cartoon tier list that I skipped out on somehow. So now we are covered from the 80s to the 2010s. And when the 2020s end, I will do a 2020s tier list, assuming we're all still alive. Anyway, I've mentioned before that I would love to go backwards and do like 70s and 60s and go further back. I looked for one. There isn't one. There's a lot of stuff like for like 70s movies, 70s albums, no 70s cartoons specifically. I would totally do it. If anybody out there wants to take up that task of researching 70s and 60s cartoons, and I will do that tier list. But yeah, that's the other thing. Like a lot of them, like animated shows, you know, since then have like been mostly hit or miss. You know, some of them are iconic, like the Flintstones, and but I guess it wasn't really until the 80s when stuff like this took off, you know? Scooby-Doo, yeah. I think pre-80s is when Hanna-Barbera really shined. But yeah. 70s anime. I'm not really familiar with a lot of 70s anime. I'm reluctant to do anime tier lists because I'm just not... I mean, I've done some. I think I've done like Adult Swim and Toonami shows because at least I'm familiar with those. But yeah, if it's something I'm not familiar with or not like comfortable talking about, you know, maybe I usually have to pass on it. Like somebody was sending in recommendations for like Marvel vs. Capcom characters, and I'm like, I played that game like once. So yeah, I really can't do tier lists if I'm not like familiar. This though is my jam. My jam. This is my favorite subject of all time. And apparently I have some work to do. And it's giving me ideas for future Cartoon Clip Show episodes, so that's nice. And we have this video I can use as reference. More cynical around the 90s. Yeah, I think that's when they started to like lose their stride. Anyway, we've been doing this for almost 2.5 hours now. I can do some short ones. You send that tier list for future Marvel vs. Capcom. Well, that's the thing. I never really played Marvel vs. Capcom. I played it a couple of times in the arcade. But yeah, like I don't know. That's like not my. It's not my forte, you know. But I can do some more. I can do a couple of short ones. I do have a couple more queued up here. 70s car. All right. I mean, if anybody wants to take up that task, we'll check it out next time we do a tier list stream, whenever that might be. So since we're doing that, I got a couple of short ones here we can do that were submitted. We can do Movie Brat submitted Marvel 90s Marvel. Thor tape. Speaking of Thor, even though he was only cameo in this. Goddamn ads! Now they're playing videos. Stop. I don't know how to make the ads go away on this site. That's why we have the stupid aspect ratio for tier lists specifically. Anyway, this is a nice short one. We can do this. So, we got X-Men the animated series. You don't remember putting X-Men? Really? I mean, we can put those up there. That's S tier, obviously. You made this in 20... Really? Huh. It must have found its way on there. Iron Man the animated series. It was a lot of fun. Not one of the better ones. I love the intro. Well, it had two intros, but I love the one where he's like making the Iron Man armor, and it's like, I am Iron Man. It's like showing him like building it. It's like, that's awesome. That's a whole that whole sequence is badass. Season 2, yeah. Then we have Fantastic Four. The show that was kind of goofy to start with. And, yeah. that intro is so good. This thankfully got better. But it started out kind of not so good. Alright, then we have Spider-Man. Honestly, not as good as X-Men, but it is an A-tier show. Incomplete, unfortunately. We're hoping that Disney gives it the 97 treatment. That would be very nice of them if they did that. The first time we saw the briefcase suit, yeah. And they adapted that for one of the movies. I did like that the Iron Man show had, like, other characters in it. Like, like, Spider-Woman was in it, and, Hawkeye was in it, I think. So there was, you know, there was a nice variety of other heroes in this as well. Iron Man 2, yeah. Then we have the Incredible Hulk, which also we were talking about She-Hulk earlier from the 80s show. I don't think she really hit her stride until this one, though. Obscure. I mean, this also had kind of silly moments later on, but I think overall it was decent. Silver Surfer, the animated series, though. That is another S tier. Unfortunately, also incomplete. This was a good one. This one was really good. Unfortunately, due to Marvel going bankrupt, it is left incomplete. And it has probably one of the worst cliffhanger endings ever. Disney better... I would love that. I would love it. I think maybe if the Fantastic Four movie does very well, that might spark something, but we can only hope. Yeah, this had one of the worst cliffhanger endings ever, and then the show ended. It is... CGI Galactus is a little weird, but, it is a very good, well-written show. By how the final episode is labeled Part 1. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Marvel bankruptcy, we have these two abominations down here. Yeah, I know. Just closure. That's all the fans want, is just closure. This is why we fought against Dark Lord network executive in Metopia. This is the reason for shows like this. Anyway. Spider-Man Unlimited, the one where Spider-Man goes to space and the planet of furries. Not very good, not very memorable, honestly. There's a lot of bullshit surrounding this show. And then we have Avengers United They Stand, the worst Marvel cartoon of all time. Emergency alert saves lives. Guys, if anybody knows how to make the ads on this site go away, please let me know. I have ad blocker. It doesn't work on this site for some reason. Yeah, Avengers United They Stand. Yeah, give us Ant-Man and Wasp instead of Captain America and Thor and Iron Man. And a bunch of, like, D-list Avengers. I mean, Hawkeye's Wolverine for no reason. Yeah. Pi ad block. Alright, I will look into that. I'm using the Google Chrome ad block. That is just called ad block, which is supposedly the best one, and it works on every other site. Spider-Man Lair being who they are. They didn't want to conflict with the time development of the figures. They want to do something different and bold. Admittedly, I liked the fact that we had some lesser utilized characters in this, like Wonder Man and Tigra. But the show overall was just so dull. And they gave them all power suits for no reason. Hawkeye does not need a power suit. It looks like the piss they show the old series animation titles. They flipped it into the furries, yeah. But anyway, Marvel's 90s Marvel was very good. Otherwise, Batman Beyond was popular. Yeah. If only James Gunn can turn the gold, since he's good with obscure heroes and villains. Yeah. Speaking of which, I finished. Well, I guess the season is over for Creature Commandos. I do have some thoughts on that show. I really liked the characters, and I did like a lot of the action, and I loved the backstory, seeing the backstories of each of the characters. Very tragic. It's actually hard for me to figure out who had the most tragic backstory. I'm leaning toward Weasel, although Nina got done dirty real bad. I enjoyed the show, but I feel like the storyline was kind of a mess, and it kind of went nowhere. Should have been direct to DVD. I think that would have worked better than a show. Yeah. I feel like it was, well, if it did that, then we wouldn't have an episode dedicated to like a flashback backstory for each of the characters, which I think I like better than them just going full on into their origins. But yeah, I wish, I feel like the show itself could have been a bit better. They killed off characters a little too quickly. Spoilers, but not really spoilers. But maybe they'll do another season of it. We'll see. They did allude to that. Alright, anyway, I think we got time for one more. If it's successful, they can make another Flag Generation show, like Rick Flag Babies. Creature Commando Babies. God, Rick Flag has got, like, the worst job in DC. He constantly has to deal with, like, bullshit, like, operatives. Like, he works with the Suicide Squad. He works with Creature Commandos. Like, he's got, like, the worst job. He's trying to, like, corral these losers and lunatics. And it always ends badly for him. And Creature Commandos is no exception. Yeah, and the stuff with Frankenstein went nowhere. The Evil Girl. Alright, we'll do the Evil Girls tier list. The one that you sent in. So here's another one that was suggested. The Evil Girls tier list. With ads that are just barely out of frame. Look, you can see my cursor change. So this is one, like, Villainouses that you sent in. Okay, well, I'm seeing some Power Rangers characters here. I don't know, so we're gonna have to... Frankenstein is supposed to connect with Creature Commandos myth. I know, but, like, the character who was in there... Like, the whole thing felt very anticlimactic to me. Anyway, we'll do this, I guess, real quick and probably wrap things up. You know, okay, so we have Wicked Witch of the West. She's an S-tier villain. She's one of the best movie villains ever. And the actress was so good. Margaret Hamilton played that role so good. Hard to believe she used to teach kindergarten. Imagine that. Your kindergarten teacher on screen as one of the most frightening villains in movie history. It's over. I might as well do Rob Watches. I might still. I'm not sure. I might want to focus on Cartoon Clip Show, though. So we'll see. These days, though, the Wicked Witch is sympathetic. Yeah. It kind of ruins the fun of her. I mean, I get it, but, like, at the same time, I'm like, I like her better like this. Then we have Rita Repulsa, who, excuse me, I'm getting tired, who herself is kind of based on the Wicked Witch. She is a fun villain. So, she does voice. Yeah, that's, Barbara Goodson, who did the English voice of her. And then we have movie Rita Repulsa from the movie. I'm gonna be real, that movie didn't leave much of an impression on me, honestly. Original Rita movies, Divatox from Power Rangers okay. Astronomera from Power, okay. I stopped watching Power Rangers after Mighty Morphin, so I don't really know these two characters that well. Say for Krispy Kreme. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, I remember that. Product placement. Alright, so she was okay, but she lacked the bravado of TV show Rita Repulsa. I guess she's a pretty effective villain, but if you're gonna be a villain, you gotta have that bravado. It's like they said in Megamind. What's the difference between you and me? Presentation! At 1,000 years, I'm free. Time to conquer Rob's. What? There's nothing. I'm too lazy to make a don't know, so I'm just gonna leave them here. Next we got a bunch of Disney villains. We have the evil queen from Snow White. Probably least interesting Disney villain, but then again, this was the first movie, so you know, back then all you really needed was, oh, she's prettier than me, I will kill her, as a villain. You put you put her in A, really? Okay. I'll take your word for it. I mean, she's fine as a villain, but nothing else. She went to great lengths to get Snow White, I will say that. She turned herself into a crone and poisoned an apple. Then we have Maleficent, who is definitely like a top-tier Disney villain. I would say she might be like number 2. I remember seeing a Disney villains tier list. I don't know if I did one of those before, but I don't know, I'll have to check, or if someone wants to check for me, we can maybe do that. Ursula, again, bravado. Very good, but her motives not as insane as Maleficent's. She just wants to be pretty. And then we have this bitch, Lady Tremaine, I think her name is, from Cinderella. Divatox did beat the Power Rangers and blow. Really? Huh. Okay, she doesn't have the bravado, but she does have the screen presence. She's just a bitch for no reason. And then we have Mother Gothel from Rapunzel. I think she's a very good villain because she convinced Rapunzel that she's the good guy. That is one of the worst types of villain there is. Okay, so now we have Sailor Moon. Is that Queen Beryl? No, right? And then that's the Galaxy late. I don't remember. Okay. I've not seen a lot of Sailor Moon. If you're a great villain, you must have a backstory to explain why you're bad. Money. Yep. Queen Beryl and Sailor Galaxia. I only know this one from that one death battle where they had her fight Beerus from Dragon Ball Z. And I guess I know, I've seen a little bit of Sailor Moon, so I know who Queen Beryl is. I guess she's kind of on the level of like, alright, I guess I'll give her A tier. She has the screen presence, at least. I don't know much about her other than that she was in Death Battle. It was interesting because they announced that Beerus was going to be in Death Battle, and I'm like, who are they going to have him fight? He's the god of death. Like, all right. So now we have my brain's not working right now, guys. We're going to have to end after this. We have Shadow Weaver from OG She-Ra and new She-Ra. Okay, so here's the thing. I've only seen season 1 of new She-Ra, so I don't know if I can really... I mean, I'll try with these ones. I liked the mystique of original, even though they did give her a backstory very briefly. I'll put her... Yeah, I think B tier is fine. I feel like maybe she was a little underutilized in the show. Network Shadow is S tier. I remember her being pretty cool. But I don't remember much. Alright, you know what? I'll put her in S tier, just because you said so. Now we have both Catras. I'm putting this Catra in D tier just because of her voice. She wasn't that bad of a villain, but yeah. And then we have Netflix Catra. Again, I only seen season 1. She was okay. You think so? Really? I'm trying to remember stuff. I remember she teamed up with Scorpia, and she was like the brains and she was the dumb one. So I kind of like, I am kind of a sucker for that dynamic. She was often, yeah, alright, I'll give her A tier, just from what I remember of her. Now we have Jessie from Pokemon. On her own, she's not that great, but when she's teamed with her pals, on the other hand... oh, by the way, RIP voice actor. I did like her attitude. You know, I'll put her in B tier. Weirdly looks like she's now standing next to Shadow Weaver because they both have white background. Okay, now we have Azula from Avatar. I'm gonna put Azula. She is an S tier villain because she is crazy as fuck. And my god, the psychology around this character, especially toward the end of the series. Oof. And finally, we have 5 versions of Evil Lyn. We've got OG Filmation. We've got movie Evil Lyn. We've got 2002 Evil Lyn. We have Revelations Evil Lyn. And we have CGI Netflix Evil Lyn. So let's get through these quick because I am getting kind of tired and I want to end. So Netflix or OG Evil Lyn. Not that deep of a villain, but we did kind of get her. We did kind of get her in the show. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna put her in B tier. I'm gonna put movie Evil Lyn in C tier because she was barely a character in that movie. We have now... I'm gonna put 2002... Actually, 2002 Evelyn is... Okay, she was like almost there. Almost S tier. Had the show gone on a little further, maybe she would have developed more. Netflix Evelyn, though, had a lot more depth. So, you know what? I'm going to put her in A tier. Actually... Yeah, I'll keep her in A tier. The only thing holding her back, I think, is her backstory. Her backstory is dumb. Her parents tried to eat her. Like, come on. And now we have CGI Netflix Evelyn, who, in my opinion, is kind of like halfway between 2002 and Filmation Evelyn. So yeah, I'll put her in B tier. And then the 3 I'm not overly familiar with, so that's got a daughter. Yes, I prefer that too. So I think they're on the same level, but this one is like ranked higher. So like we'll put them side by side like this. Alright, well. That 80s tier list took a long time, and I'm very tired. I'm starting to sweat, so we're gonna end. I'm suddenly, again, reminded why I don't do tier lists very often anymore. Yay! Movie almost killed Springsteen Courtney. So almost a hero, yeah. Yeah, I mean, she was just kind of like one of the henchmen in that movie, so Skeletor, as usual, stole the spotlight. Yeah, I think it's time to go. I'm very tired. Let me put this away. I have very little energy. Like I said, work kind of ran me ragged this week. So, where is the tier list? There it is. Alright, make that go away so I can move this. Okay, guys. Thank you for joining me. I don't see anybody we can raid out to, so we're going to go ahead and just end things. I will hopefully be back on Monday with some Stardew Valley chill stream Monday. And this week we will start a new game, or maybe we'll play an old game. I don't know. So, thank you all for watching. If you're new here, please give me a follow. Go to Rob the Casual Gamer, where I upload all my streams. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500, so you get me to 500. Once again, you will get, if I can find it, you will get to see me in a costume of the VTuber model. And I know you all want to see that. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you all for joining me. I am tired. I'm going to go. And I will see you guys